Think about someone in your life who has completely disappeared from social media. No photos, no updates, no stories. They exist in real life, but online, it's like they don't exist at all. And when you ask them why, they just shrug and say, I don't really feel the need. But here's what most people don't realize. That's not a personality flaw. That's not shyness. That's not depression. According to psychology, that quiet choice reveals something deeply powerful about how their mind actually works. Every time someone posts online, psychology says something very specific is happening beneath the surface. It's called impression management, the deeply human need to control how others see you. Every photo, every caption, every story is a signal, a carefully constructed version of yourself sent out into the world, waiting for approval. But people who don't post, they've quietly stepped out of that game entirely. They don't need 200 likes to confirm that their dinner was good, their trip was meaningful, or their life has value. And that kind of inner security, the kind that doesn't need an audience, is rarer than most people think. Research on self-concept clarity shows that people who share less online tend to have a much clearer, more stable sense of who they are. They know their values, they know what they want, and they don't need external feedback to figure that out. Compare that to someone who posts constantly and then anxiously watches the likes roll in, or doesn't roll in. Their mood shifts, their confidence depends on the reaction. People who don't post have quietly removed that variable from their life. Their identity isn't up for public vote. Now, here's something most psychology videos won't tell you, because not every non-poster is operating from confidence. For some people, the silence isn't power, it's protection. The fear of being seen, judged, or ignored is so uncomfortable that staying invisible feels safer. What if nobody reacts? What if people judge the photo? What if the post fails? That vulnerability, even in its mildest digital form, is enough to keep them permanently quiet. So they scroll, they watch, they consume, but they never step into the light. This profile isn't about strength, it's about a nervous system that learned that being seen is dangerous. And recognizing the difference between these two, the person who chooses silence and the person who hides in it, that's where real self-awareness begins. Here's where the research gets really interesting. A landmark study from the University of Pennsylvania found that reducing social media use to just 10 minutes a day led to significant drops in loneliness and depression. Another study found that passive social media use, just scrolling without posting, was directly linked to higher social comparison, more envy, and lower overall well-being. People who don't post, in most cases, aren't endlessly consuming either. And that quiet absence from the comparison cycle, it's protecting their mental health in ways they may not even fully realize. While everyone else measures their life against highlight reels, their salary, their body, their vacations, these people are just living. Think about the last time you did something beautiful, a meal, a sunset, a moment with someone you love. How quickly did your brain jump to, I should post this? We now live in a world where holidays are planned around photo opportunities, where food is photographed before it's eaten, where moments are experienced through a screen rather than through the senses. People who don't post have, either consciously or unconsciously, broken that reflex. For them, the moment doesn't need to be captured to be real. It doesn't need witnesses to have value. That sunset was theirs, fully, completely, privately theirs. And psychology calls this present moment orientation, one of the strongest predictors of genuine happiness and life satisfaction. Social media promises connection, belonging, relevance, proof that you matter. But research on self-determination theory tells us that human beings have three core psychological needs: competence, connection, and autonomy. Most people try to meet those needs through posting and feedback loops, but the people who don't post, they found other ways: deeper relationships, meaningful work, a stable inner identity that doesn't need an audience to survive. They're not missing out on connection, they've just found the version of it that actually lasts. So, the next time you notice someone who never posts, don't assume something's wrong with them. Don't assume they're antisocial or struggling or hiding. They might just be living a version of life that most of us are still trying to figure out. A life where the moment is enough, where your worth isn't measured in engagement, where you don't need to perform your happiness to feel it. The people who don't post aren't invisible. They're just free. If this made you think about your own relationship with social media, that's exactly what this channel is for. At Psychology You Didn't Know, we decode the hidden patterns behind everyday human behavior, the things you feel but never had the words for. Hit subscribe because the next video might explain something about yourself you never even noticed.